Here we go. Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? Has Neil fallen asleep? He looks like he's fallen asleep.
No,
You there, Neil?
Definitely here. Neil was just sending an additional message to some other people.
Oh, Neil. See, look, the show's just started and you're already there on your phone, just not paying attention. How could you?
My bad.
How are you, champ? You good?
I'm good, yeah. I'm very well. Yourself?
Excellent. Yeah, all good. How was your weekend?
Yeah. I was getting old, mate. Damaged my neck.
Oh, no.
I've just taken a heat pad off. I'm going to see how it is. I've been dosed up on some drugs, but yeah, I've done it a few weeks ago.
We don't endorse that on this show.
No. Yeah. The good kind.
Legal ones.
Yeah,
Legal ones only.
The ones over the counter. Yeah. I heard it a couple of weeks ago, and seems to have been all right. And then literally the other day, drying my hair after getting out of the shower, twisted a bit funny. Neck went again.
I hope that was from being out in the garden, practicing your headers. That's how you done your neck.
I wish it was something really good, really cool, but no, literally just drying my hair.
Oh man, I've got that to look forward to.
I blame Corona because I've not been able to get a cut. So obviously,
that vicious hair. Yeah,
exactly. It's all that additional hair. It's more work than it was previously. So.
You want to be like me, mate. You want to lose your hair, and then you don't have to worry about drying it.
Yeah, but I've got a weird shaped head, mate.
So have
I. But I have a choice still.
Thanks, Neil. And next week's presenter will be... You're fired. Turned to Alan Sugar already. Hello, everyone in the chat. All as viewers start to hopefully flood in, they've started paying for their tickets to get through the gates. So, and click open that can of beer and start pouring. Oh God!
Your beer of choice today, then, sure.
My beer of choice is Budweiser today. I'm going full-on premium lager again. So
full-on premium Gaudy.
Yeah, full-on Gaudy to the max. I'm very much missing the Gaudy, so I thought I'd doff my cap to the place by having a cheeky little Budweiser. How about yourself? You're on Hop House, aren't you?
I am on the Hop House 13s today. Yeah, a little bit. I love a little bit of a Hop House, and this is one. Bizarrely, for the 500? No, the 650ml bottle is one of the cheapest ones in Sainsbury's.
Damn, I know. It's got plenty of taste to it as well. It's not just
It's a good one. It's a good one. £1.95 instead of like £2.30 for all the other ones. So
I remember when I first moved to Norwich, and I used to drink quite a lot of that in the Complete Angler. So I used to live in a little flat down by the train station. I used to go in the Complete Angler pretty much on a weekly basis, and that was my poison of choice. Sitting there, I remember watching a Manchester United Europa League game there, and I'm feeling a bit worse for wear the next day. Oh, mate, yeah, I know. Why do you think we do this show on a Thursday night, so I can avoid that shit moving forward? So I hope this goes on long enough till next season, so we can avoid it.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's nothing else. Although we'll be doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But speaking of which, I mean, they've been talking about. I mean, since we last talked about the Premier League starting back up again, haven't they? So
yes, but they've also today. I don't know if you saw. They're talking about potentially the whole of next season being played behind closed doors.
Yeah, have they? I mean, you're probably a bit more clued up on this than me, but have they explained why they're going to do that? Or
I think I think there's a lot of stuff with the government at the moment, isn't there, saying about the fear of second spikes.
Yeah.
And obviously, if they suddenly say to everyone, it's like the 3-week period that they were speaking about ends on Thursday or Friday this week.
Mm-hmm.
But Boris Johnson's doing an announcement to the nation on Sunday, because the fear is that if he makes an announcement on Thursday, everyone's going to go crazy for a bank holiday weekend.
Well, of course,
yeah. So I think it's a similar sort of setup with the football. If all of a sudden they say, okay, football's back on, suddenly you're putting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people in a confined space again. So,
but surely it makes more sense. Are they? So they're going to see out the rest of this season behind closed doors. How's that then going to? So then, obviously, they're presuming then next season's going to do the same. Is that what they're saying?
The behind closed doors at the moment is a little bit bizarre because it's not been agreed. And they're getting it's being rejected by a number of clubs because they're saying that all of the games they'll use 10 neutral grounds, and all the games will be played at those grounds. Now, teams have their pitch sizes. You have regulations, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
And teams have a pitch size based on how they want to play football. So all pitch sizes are different. So a team has been set up to play. They don't get the home support.
No.
They're not playing in a familiar stadium either.
Yep.
You know, for teams like Villa shouldn't be too bad. There's no new stadiums in the Premier League since they were last there, and they were there for a long time.
Yeah.
But teams like Sheffield United have barely played at half of these grounds.
Yeah.
Irrelevant. So they're actually at a massive disadvantage.
Massive. Yeah. I mean,
So-
you know, and you look at a team like Liverpool, you know, who has such a you know, feverish atmosphere, and they really get behind their side. You know, I mean, this spine tingling hearing them sing, you know, "You'll Never Walk Alone." You know, all of a sudden that's gone. You know, that's going to have a massive effect on their performances, surely.
Yeah, and especially if you then look at derbies that are then going to be played. You know, the derbies, the home fans have such a big impact in the fixtures.
Yeah, home and away. Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of things still to be ironed out. I think it's a suggestion that's gone up. I don't think it's going to be the final thing we see.
No.
I think behind closed doors will happen. I don't understand why, if they're going to do it behind closed doors, why they're suddenly saying it's got to be at neutral grounds.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't get that. Doesn't make sense to me.
Well, they're saying about essential travel. Well, you're making more people travel because both teams have got to go.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make any sense. And I think it may well be that obviously if they're trying to do stuff and then they'll have the games on the telly and things like that, then it's all the big stadiums that are going to be utilised. But no, it just doesn't make any sense.
No, and none of it. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not quite sure like how and what is they're thinking that, you know, if you're going to play behind closed doors, then surely that's stopping the problem. So you know, I don't know. Why play at neutral venues? Why make these footballers travel? The coaching staff, the managers. Why do they have to travel? As you say, if you're trying to stop essential travel, then why are you making these people travel to neutral venues, or you know, or risk putting them in public places by putting them up in hotels while all the games are played or something? I don't know. It's just none of it makes much sense to me. But it doesn't. I don't know, and I totally agree that there will be a second spike. I think someone very cleverly sort of pointed out as at the moment it's a bit like being on a slide, and that, you know, just because they're saying now we're over the worst of it, you know, it's like climbing to the top of the slide. You don't just jump off from the top, do you? You slide down the slide. So there's got to be a slow, steady decrease. And with people just jumping out and going into public places all of a sudden and going back to a normal routine, that's like jumping off the slide. You know, it's not following the guidelines which should be set out and what we should be doing. So, I don't know. So, as you say, it could be a case of people just fuck it up for everyone else, but it wouldn't be the first and it wouldn't be the last time. So
No, it won't. And I think a big thing as well, I mean, obviously, if they're saying all the games are going to be behind closed doors, how does that then work for local league football? Because, I mean, let's be fair. Yeah. May as well play behind closed doors on Sundays and Saturdays because you don't have huge amounts of people there.
I was going to say, we could all just line up and play down at Carrow Road. I'm up for that.
Yeah.
If you have to play behind closed doors, suits me. I'd quite happily run out on that turf. It'd be one of the best pitches I've played on. Suits me.
It's not been touched for a while. It makes you wonder what they've done to it.
I don't know, probably the grass will probably be as tall as my desk. Damn, I'm just looking at the viewers and it seems to be very slow going at the minute. I don't know how it's looking on your end, but I'm sat with 3 sat on here and I'm hoping that people are going to soon be on here to join in. I'm assuming you're one of those and my mum's one of the others. So
now mine says viewers 6.
Oh shit, okay. Hello everyone, hello.
Viewers we have, so it says another TV viewer.
Ooh, another TV viewer. Ooh.
Gal Goya. Old Kazza Clark is on there.
Kazza.
Lurks and Coop has returned.
Hey, Cooper A. I'm glad to hear that he's doing well after a recent virus scare. So, of which
survive.
Yes,
get him a t-shirt.
Good lad.
He loves a t-shirt, don't he?
Oh yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah. that and someone to hate, anyways. So
we'll get him a t-shirt with his name on the back and on the front. I survived the corona.
Oh, bless him. He's over the Rona. No, good. Yeah, no, glad to hear he's well. Probably starting off with that, we should probably mention about, obviously, Matt's not going to be with us for the next few shows, unfortunately. Well, he sort of said he's sort of gone on hiatus basically. So anyone that is watching, you're stuck with us two for the next eternity.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see giving this up anytime soon. So. So yeah, unfortunately, get well soon, Matt. I hope you're feeling better soon, dude.
Yeah.
And hopefully he'll be back on here. But in the meantime, obviously, we got the very esteemed Neil joining us and helping me. Don't know.
Reduce viewers by the look of it.
Yeah, shovel the shit basically. So, no, not reducing viewers, definitely not. I'm sure we're bringing plenty in, mate. So we just need to get you drunk, and then that'll be bringing the viewers in.
Well, yeah. Maybe.
I'm sure it will. Okay. Well, while we wait for people to liven up a bit, I appreciate it's still early in the evening, so
yeah.
people are probably just chewing on their dinner.
Put kids to bed, that sort of thing, all that sort of stuff going on in there. So.
Exactly. Let's just fix that.
What's
the
wrong?
hell's going on? I know. What happened there? God, it's all going on now. Okay, so something I was going to bring up last week. And I think this is a good point based on just talking about the COVID, is best sporting films to watch whilst in lockdown. Obviously, we're all stuck indoors at the minute. So I wanted to get a couple of recommendations from you. I mean, I've got a couple that hopefully most people have been watching whilst stuck at home. So what would you suggest as a good sporting film to watch at the moment?
Are we going for like...
I mean, I'm talking like...
sports film?
I'd go outside of football.
No,
like Space Jam.
When I say sport, I was going to say
Space
Jam
Jam's
themed as a sports film.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So
Space Jam's a classic.
Oh, well, yeah. I watched it the other day, and that's what made me think. I was like, what other sports films could we mention? I also saw the BBC kind of stole this idea as well, bastards. So
did they?
Yeah, wankers.
That's all right. We stole a couple of theirs.
Yeah, exactly. We'll keep stealing them. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I saw Space Jam has just appeared onto Netflix as well, as far as I'm aware. So
yeah, that's why I watched it. So, and isn't it? There's going to be a Space Jam 2. Did you know that?
No, you may have just rocked my world.
I have, big time. Is it LeBron James? Is LeBron? I don't know. I don't know basketball players.
Oh no, yeah, it could be LeBron James. Who was the guy who died? Kobe Bryant died, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, so no, it may well be LeBron then.
Yeah, LeBron. Apparently, he's in it. So.
Okay.
There you go. A DTL exclusive, DTLFC exclusive.
If they're doing it as basketball again, what are they going to do different?
I don't know. I mean, and like this is a problem. Is like that's a classic. They're just going to shit all over it now.
Yeah.
God damn it. Hey ho.
There's no Looney Tunes characters, new ones to sling in, is there?
I was going to say. I thought a few of those died as well. They could be getting on a bit. Those Looney Tunes characters. Bugs Bunny.
Elmer Fudd's looked like on his last legs forever, isn't he? So
exactly. I mean, how's he going to be able to play basketball again?
Yosemite Sam, I mean, in Corona, since he's been locked down, mate, that beard's going to be massive, isn't
Huge, mate. Huge.
He'll be tripping all over that because he was only a little guy anyway, so...
Yeah, I mean, and that the old chicken, I can't remember his name now. Maybe he's going to have to...
Foghorn Leghorn?
I don't know.
The Texas chicken?
Oh, was that his name? I had no idea. He was just a rooster as far as I knew.
Yeah, Foghorn Leghorn. I'm pretty sure.
Foghorn Leghorn, right? Okay, but yeah, I mean, basically they're all gonna be kicking on a bit, so I can't see them appearing in this film.
No. Although you never know, they may be playing like an old players.
Yeah, true.
It was actually quite interesting though, watching Space Jam, because it was back in the days when I used to play NBA Jam on the Mega Drive. Maybe.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 95, 96. So when you had your 2-player teams, and it was all the players that you used to have from there in the film. It was brilliant.
Wow.
Proper blast from the past.
Yeah, yeah. You're a little bit older than me, Neil. I don't know that. Sorry, mate.
Great game.
I'd get one back on you after the hair comment to start the show off. So, but yeah, I mean, the only other film. Funny enough, just before we come on air, I was watching on YouTube a film about Brian Clough, a documentary.
The Damned United.
What a film!
Fantastic film.
Michael Sheen was incredible in that film.
He is very, very good.
Yeah.
And Cole Meany as Don Revy is very good as well.
Yeah, Timothy Spall plays.
Timothy Spall, yeah.
Yeah, who's he?
He is his right-hand man.
Yeah, went on to manage Peter Taylor.
Peter Taylor,
that's it. Yeah, yeah. He was awesome. Yeah. Who's the fellow who played? The Leeds player. Oh, fucking
Billy
hell.
Bremner.
Billy Bremner, yeah.
Is the Liverpool guy? Is it? Steve?
Yeah. But he's an awesome actor as well. I mean, he's like one of those national treasures. You see him in so many good TV programs and films, and I don't think I've ever seen him. And like such an unusual looking actor, he just does such a fantastic job. I mean, you're looking like because he was in Snatch and Lock, Stock, and he was absolutely awesome in those films. So yeah, Damned United. And any other good films we could be looking at? I know you watched one the other day.
Yeah. Did I? What did I watch?
The English Game? Was it The English Game?
No, that's not a film. That's a TV series.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it was a film.
No, it's a TV series. It's a mini series. I think there's like 6 episodes, but no, that's really good. The first couple of episodes we've watched was really good.
Was it like a kind of like biographic thingy majiggy?
Yeah, to an extent. So it's the start of the professional game in England and how it's played by upper class only.
Okay.
And it's old Etonians are the triumphant team, but the style of play is very similar to rugby, where they all swarm.
Okay.
Forward at one go. So yeah, and the rules and things like that are a little bit dubious. And then they and it's a cotton mill team.
Okay.
From near Blackburn have a team, and they're in the FA Cup. No team's ever gone beyond the quarterfinals, and they go and get 2. But the game is already professional in Scotland, and they go and sign 2 players from a Scottish team, to come and work at the mill, to then get them to play for the football team.
Oh right, okay.
So yeah, so it's kind of that. That's the premise. So we've just seen they lose the first time they play each other. I think they draw 5-5 and then they lose 6-1 or 6-0.
Oh right, okay.
In the replay, and it's all sort of the old Etonians.
I need to watch this.
Yeah, the old Etonians team is made up of all of the people who are on the chair.
Okay.
So they make up the rules as they go along.
Yeah. Okay. Very clever. Very clever.
Yeah, but it's a true story. The people in it are real people. Well, the people in it are real people, obviously.
Based on
but
real people.
They are all based on real people. So you see all the stuff behind the scenes as well,
factual.
and their family lives and that sort of thing. It looks really good. Made by the same person who'd done Downton Abbey and one of the others. Okay, so
very periodic then.
Yeah, so other half's happy because it's periodic, and I was relatively happy because it's football.
Football, way! Field of Dreams, Escape to Victory pop up in the chat. I can't remember if I've seen Escape to Victory. Showing my age.
Escape to Victory as a film is not particularly brilliant. But it is very football, and it is very, very rammed full of famous footballers.
Is it? Okay. I'm trying to think. So, I seem to remember like lots of famous faces being in it. I'm just trying to remember who.
Pele's in it. Bobby Moore's in it.
Oh, okay, right.
Michael Caine's in it. So you've got a lot of footballers make up the football team and have minimal parts.
Okay.
And then Sylvester Stallone.
I thought Sly was in it.
Yeah, and Michael Caine are in it, and there's another 1 or 2 actors. But yeah, it's
That's about the time they could have got Kevin Keegan to be Sylvester Stallone's sort of body double, couldn't they? With the hair.
To an extent, yeah. Yeah, he wasn't quite as built, but wasn't far off.
Exactly. Yeah. Just put Sly's face on him playing football, and no one would know.
But I think it was based in a prisoner of war camp, and they're escaping from that.
Yeah.
So they have to then manipulate a chunk of the players. So like Pele, they make instead of Brazilian, he's Portuguese. And things like that, because obviously Brazil weren't involved in the war, so why would they have him popped up?
Yeah,
so that kind of thing. But no, it's a decent watch.
Okay.
If you're looking for,
I'll get round to it.
If you're looking for a good film, though, it's not a good film. It's a decent enough watch.
It's just a classic for its time, I suppose. And
and
the fact it's got so many footballers in it. I mean, you're not going to see that in many films anymore.
No, and up until recently, you didn't have many football films.
No. Not really. No.
So.
So I mean, I'm just trying to think of other ones really.
Mean Machine, obviously.
Obviously Mean Machine. I was just about to mention Mean Machine. But yeah, I mean, what a film that is. Yeah, with Billy the Limpet, played by Danny Dyer. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's fantastic.
And it's based on an American one.
Yeah, and then then they done a remake of the American one, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Yeah, The Longest Yard.
Yes.
I think it's called. Yeah, it was basically American football, and then they obviously done the sort of British football, but.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an awesome film. I need to rewatch that. I do need to watch that.
I watched it probably about 2 months ago. Yeah, it's a great film. Great film.
I can only think of like another sports film. Once again, it's not football, but The Fighter.
Very good. Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, and Christian Bale. That's an awesome film.
He's the trainer, isn't he?
Fantastic. Yeah, he plays Dickie something. I can't remember his surname. It's like Eckhart or something. Strange name. But yeah, about Mickey Ward, and I heard that they were going to make a follow up to that as well, The Fighter 2, where he goes on to fight Arturo Gatti for the where they had their trilogy, which was just they're some of the greatest fights of all time.
Okay.
You know, I like a bit of boxing, and I love sitting back and watching those films. So, well, those old fights, should I say? They're like films, you know. I mean, they're incredible.
They are, yeah. Some of them are epic in their own, aren't they? So. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's another awesome sports film to sit down and watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's bizarre though, isn't it? When you look at it, there are a lot of very good boxing films.
Yeah.
I mean, take out a couple of the Rocky films.
Yeah.
But as a general rule, Rockies are not bad. They're pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, take out 5.
And Balboa, which is just.
No, I really like Balboa. I
thought it was quite good, but it's so
really
unrealistic.
It is totally unrealistic, but I really like the kind of the father-son. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that whole trying to step out of someone's shadows, and you know, and sort of not trying to walk in the same shoes as that person who's above you, almost. So,
am I confused? Which one was the one where it's the computer game?
It's a computer game.
Yeah, so they basically have a boxing game, and it's like old boxing games on PlayStation and things like that, where you have classic matchups, and it's the current heavyweight champ.
Yeah, that was that one. Yeah, where his son sat in the bar, and they're playing in the bar, and Balboa wins or something, and then that's
everyone says, "Nah, that's unrealistic. Wouldn't happen."
Yeah, that was the one where he's got that famous speech where about nothing hits harder than life. You know, it's not about how hard you get hit; it's how much you can take and keep moving forward. And I love that scene. I think that's such a iconic sort of movie scene. There's lots of bits and pieces like that in it, and I know it's a bit cheesy in places, but I mean, I thought that was a really good film. It's better than the Creeds. I thought the Creed films were dog dirt. So
I agree. I don't think
so was 5.
Great, no.
5 was shocking.
Michael B. Jordan has not covered himself in glory in those.
No, not in any way. But I thought it was quite funny having Tony Bellew in the first one, wasn't it? That was pretty funny. Because he's a character. The Sandlot. Yeah, have you ever seen The Sandlot? No, check it out. If you got Sky Cinema, it's on Sky Cinema. It's about these kids that play baseball, and it's a fantastic film. It's a kids' film, but it's amazing.
Yeah, but so's Mighty Ducks.
Oh yeah, Mighty Ducks. Now we're talking.
Ducks.
Yeah, birds of a feather fly together.
Yes, indeed. I'm trying to think of. So I mean, other great. It's amazing. Yeah. So boxing films. Obviously, you've also got Raging Bull.
I was about to say Raging Bull. Yeah.
The Fighter.
Yeah, the Fighter.
I think one of my favourites is Ali.
With Will Smith.
Yeah, I thought that was a really, really good film.
It was a really good film. I didn't really like the way they portrayed him, if I'm honest.
Apparently, he was involved in some of the writing, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, but was he? I mean, bless him. You know, I mean, the state that he was in then. You know, I mean, there was nothing left of the man, unfortunately. You know, I just think there was way too many scenes that it was him being like cute and cuddly, and I don't think that was, you know, that wasn't Cassius Clay, that wasn't Muhammad Ali at all.
No.
If you watch some of the documentaries about him, especially the ones with Ali and Frazier, I mean, he wasn't a cute, cuddly, sympathetic person. He was a absolute arsehole, frankly. Yeah, he was a douchebag. You know, I mean, it was all about him. But you know, and I think Muhammad Ali, I don't know, he was overrated as a boxer, anyways. And big time. Oh, mate, honestly.
Starting.
Yeah, I think who said it? One of his trainers said his what was it? His little saying of floats like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He said he should have been floats like a bee and stings like a butterfly. He said his punches weren't that hard and all this lot. I mean, that's coming from Angelo Dundee, his own trainer. Which I thought was quite funny. But yeah, I mean, it's that old. I mean, Mike Tyson would have ripped him a new one. Absolutely tore him to shreds. Definitely. Even you know, Ali in his prime, he'd have been ripped to bits by, you know. Yeah, funny enough, Muhammad Ali's name popped up the other day saying that Tyson Fury could have given him a fight in his heyday, and I'd probably go with it, to be fair.
Yeah. No,
I think Vladimir Klitschko would have floored Muhammad Ali, you know.
I think, a different style of fight, wasn't it? I mean, these guys like to get stuck in, whereas back in the day, you didn't. When you had those sort of fighters, what was always good about Ali, from seeing and hearing stuff, is, he'd get beaten by someone. So like Joe Fraser beat him, got stuck in, got in tight, and beat him. And then in the rematch, Ali took him apart because he came away.
In the replay he didn't. In the rematch he didn't. The referee, he stopped Fraser getting inside.
Okay.
He kept breaking. He kept breaking. He went to a third. The second fight, the referee ruined the fight. Yeah, big time. Basically, he wouldn't let Fraser come in close, and sort of he used to keep his hands up all the time, and he'd sort of work his way in, then work the body, and he just wouldn't let him do it. I mean, every time he'd sort of get anywhere close, the referee would just break him up. Like, Ali would just smother him and let him get away with it, and he kept like pushing down and tiring Fraser out. And the referee just let it go and just wouldn't let Fraser, have his fight, basically. So,
but then
the third fight. I don't know. Watch the documentary because it's fantastic. Okay. But I think it was the 11th round when it got called. And apparently Ali went back to his corner and he said, "That's it, I'm done."
He said, "I'm done."
He goes, "I'm done." He goes, just throw the towel in. He goes, I ain't going back out for the next round." And it was purely because Fraser's eye was closing up, and he basically for the last 3 rounds he was boxing with one eye. Yeah. And his trainer said, "Look, I'm not letting you go out for this next round." And Fraser wanted to go out. He was ready to go out, and he'd have died on his feet. Yeah. But it was purely because the trainer threw the towel in just before Ali could let his trainer throw the towel in, because Ali's trainer was like, no, just stay in there, you're winning the fight. Yeah. But I think Fraser would have won the third fight, so I mean Fraser should have won him on all 3 fights, and we should be talking about Joe Fraser nowadays instead of Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
But having said that, I mean there's a fantastic quote in it where he said something about Muhammad Ali's name has been sold for several £100 million worth of rights, and Joe Fraser meanwhile lives under a bridge in Philadelphia. And he does. He lives in this room, which is probably smaller than my office. Yeah. On in a sleeping bag in this gym, and he lives on like 1 square meal a day. Well, he did up until he died. But yeah. Anyways, we're digressing. We're talking about boxing now, and
we've gone into boxing based on the films. I knew that would happen when we opened it up to too many sport films.
Yeah, and based on the fact there's no viewers. God damn it! Yeah. Where have they all gone? Genuinely been busting my arse all weekend trying to get people to come watch this, because I knew we was going to have a big debate today. I spent 10 quid on fucking adverts on Facebook, and not a single bastard one has worked. Arseholes. Well, you know what? I just don't care. It just means I'll just drink more. So I'd have to worry about what I say then. So
get it controversial and let it all out.
Yeah, too right. As I say, I'm watching a fair bit of Brian Clough. So
I am still listening. I'm just flicking the light on in here because I realise it's getting a bit darker.
Oh,
there we go.
There you go. Need to be able to see yourself, mate.
Exactly.
Especially if I can't see you. Right. How are we going to do this? And do we want to get crack-a-lacking with the big debate?
Yeah, why not?
Because this gives me a chance to try out a new feature which I've never used before when streaming, and that is to go to a screen capture on my other screen. So this is going to go one of 2 ways. It's either going to go terribly wrong, or I'm going to land on my feet first time like the cat that I am.
So either we'll be back in a minute, or
we'll be back in a minute, or everything's just it's gonna be like like an egg rolling downhill. It's just gonna go all over the place. So Neil, if you'd be kind enough, just to explain the premise of what we're gonna do, and then we will get on to the players that are involved.
Cool. So the premise of what we are going to do is debate and put in order the top 10 goal scorers of the Premier League era. And by that, I don't mean the people who have necessarily scored the most goals in the Premier League, but the people who have been deemed as the best goal scorers to have played in the Premier League.
So this is more based on opinion than it is fact.
More based on opinion than it is fact. We can pull together loads and loads of stats to get various things. Mm-hmm. The one thing is, a lot of these players have played in the Prem and elsewhere. Yep. It's only based on their time in the Premier League.
Okay.
So if it works and we get the pictures up, that's fantastic. What we will do is it because I've not been privy to this yet, so I'm intrigued to see how it works.
Me too.
Is it going to be? Are we debating each of those people as they come up?
What we'll do is I'm going to get a slideshow going, and it will be the 10 players that have been named on a constant slideshow, so that we can obviously make everyone aware of who is involved, and then once they're involved, we'll swap back to debating the points. And if we need to, we can always pop back and talk about a certain player. So
the 10 people that have been nominated by the Match of the Day and BBC Sport commentary people.
So they're now going to be popping up on the screen, and we'll obviously, as your
works.
Yeah, I know.
Love it.
And also, as it comes back round for the second time round, I'll name names. But I'm sure anyone who's watching who's worth their salt is knows all of these players that are on there. So I hope they do, anyways.
Coop, if Van Wolfswinkel is on there, I'm off.
Isn't there, I'm off.
Yeah, and if he is there, I'm off.
Oh well, that gets us down to one viewer. So damn it, stay Coop. So right, so we're coming back round for the second round of players. So we're gonna have Thierry Henry, obviously the Arsenal legend, Cristiano Ronaldo, now an international legend, Harry Kane. No comment. Luis Suarez, now plying his trade at Barcelona. Ruud van Nistelrooy, who then went on to Real Madrid after his time at Manchester United. Sergio Aguero, who's still at Manchester City, highest ever goal scorer, I believe. Alan Shearer, 260 goals in the Premier League. Didier Drogba, who won everything there could be at Chelsea. Wayne Rooney, with hair. And Ian Wright. So
no hair.
With no hair and looking rather aggressive in that picture. So those, ladies and gentlemen, those are the 10 that were voted by who? Sorry, Neil?
So it was by the Match of the Day commentary team, or BBC Sport commentary teams.
Okay, so everyone on Match of the Day. So we have Ian Wright, Alan Shearer, Thierry Henry, Sergio Aguero, Cristiano Ronaldo, Didier Drogba, Wayne Rooney, remember the name, Harry Kane, Luis Suarez, and Ruud van Nistelrooy. Coincidentally, there's 2 of those which are Match of the Day regulars. Ian Wright and Alan Shearer.
Yeah, funny that, isn't it?
Surprised Danny Murphy hasn't found his way on that list.
And Jermaine Genius, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what a player. Jermaine Genius. Right, so how are we going to do this? Are we going to name from like 10 up to 1? Or we've just got to name top 3? I think we should kind of start with the point that you made when we talked earlier.
Yeah, who's missing?
Michael Owen, straight away.
Yeah.
How on earth is Michael Owen not on that list?
But was he? I mean, he had a number of good years at Liverpool, but then the injury started to kick in. He went to Madrid. He didn't get that many goals at Newcastle.
Yeah, but the same thing happened with Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
See, even Coops piped up. Andy Cole.
Yeah,
not on
no
there.
Andy Cole, no Fowler.
Yeah, Letitia.
Bizarrely, Robbie Fowler. So I looked at this. Robbie Fowler's goals to game ratio.
Yeah, it wasn't great, was it?
Is only better than one person on that list.
Drogba, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Dwight York?
Dwight York's not on there either. Fernando Torres.
I was going to say Torres. If
we're going for someone who was fantastic for a few years, you've got Torres.
Oh, he was incredible. I mean, he was at times just unplayable.
Yeah. Someone like Dion Dublin.
I was going to say Dion Dublin. Yeah. And cut it at several teams as well. Manchester United, Coventry. Trying to remember where else. Yeah, Villa. Had spells across everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
he scored a lot of goals when he ended up playing centre back.
Yeah. I know. Yes. I mean, I don't know. I mean, how players like them haven't got more of a mention, I don't know. And plus, he's been on Match of the Day before, I believe. So.
Yeah. Even looking at people like Solskjaer.
Yeah. Yeah. Sheringham. Les Ferdinand.
Les. I think. Yeah.
And not to mention, I mean, someone who isn't named on there. I mean, all of these are strikers. What about players like Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard? I mean, they are goal scorers. They are great goal scorers.
They scored goals. I think the problem is their goals to game ratio. They each had a couple of seasons where they scored a lot of goals in the league, but their goals to game ratio. But their goals to game ratio wasn't great.
But I mean, isn't this surely, and this is where the goal scoring. Define goal scoring. If we're talking greatest goal scorer, are we talking about the person who scores the greatest goals, or are we talking the person who scores the most goals?
It's the thing. I would say it's the person who scores the most goals, but in the space of time they do it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's just always something I've always kind of thought about. Because once again we're talking about all these players. I mean, Sergio Aguero doesn't score goals from outside the area. Neither does Alan Shearer, Ian Wright.
I don't know. Shearer scored quite a few goals out of the area.
He scored a few bangers, didn't he? But I mean, to be fair, I think I was talking the other day and saying if you get a chance, watch his first couple of goals at Southampton. He was just they were wonder goals, absolute wonder goals.
And at Blackburn when he first went to Blackburn.
Yeah. Jamie Vardy, another good shout.
Yeah, Vardy's not in there. Yeah. Kevin Phillips as well. Yeah.
Isn't Jamie Vardy? I think he's the fourth highest goal scorer across Europe at the minute.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Top in the Prem, isn't he?
Yeah. So I mean. Yeah, how is he not in there? Not to mention he's scored in how many consecutive games? 12?
Yeah, 12. He's got the record, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't get mentioned. Bizarre. I mean, Harry Kane's in there. How's Harry Kane in there?
Goals to game ratio, he scored a lot of goals.
Fuck up. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Just don't get it. How's Harry Kane in there? As you say, how's he in there above Michael Owen?
I think it's the goals to game.
Oh, I know. Fucking Genas, isn't it? Twat. Tottenham link, that's what it is. Bastard.
And I think Owen probably rubbed quite a few people up the wrong way as well at points in time.
Yeah, but come on, his quotes are brilliant. Come on, I'll tell you what, while we're debating this, I've got to bring up some classic Michael Owen quotes.
Go on.
Because I'm going to find some. Because honestly, that man, we could do the comedy hour on the Down the Local show.
He does do some fantastic ones.
Classic Michael Owen quotes. There you go. It pops up straight away on Google. Top 15. He's got top 15. See, that's more than the strikers we've got. Top Michael Owen. He looks like a footballer. That's a good one.
Yeah.
You're on your own out there with 10 mates.
What a hero.
That's a fantastic penalty, but he'll be gutted it went wide. I doubt Everton are going to get anything out of this game. What's this? It doesn't really put it into context, does it? Dickhead. What a feeling it is to be a manager and bring someone on. And this is a classic one.
Karen, just to jump in, Karen, you're not making a fool of yourself, but he didn't play in the Premier League, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was just a bit too early. Yeah. Otherwise, we say that. I'm sure we could, add loads of different names onto that list. Goodness, if you go back and look over the years. This is one of my favourite Michael Owen quotes, and I'm not even pissed yet. It's definitely hit Defoe's hand as it's gone in, but it's not handball for me.
I like that. I still think one of my favourite footballing quotes is when God rest him, Ray Wilkins was playing for England, pinged a pass, and the commentary was, "That's an inch perfect pass to no one in particular." Love it.
Yeah. Footballers these days often have to use their feet. He's elbowed him in the head, but there's nothing in it for me.
Yeah. It just sounds like a Sunday League referee.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. That would have been a goal had it gone inside the post. It's hit the facial part of his head there. If there's a bit of rain about, it makes the surface wet.
Right, okay. So I'm going to work on the theory that Michael Owen is not in this thing because he's stupid.
Yeah, I know.
Stupidity has ruled him out of being one of the best goal scorers in England.
That's probably it. He probably sits there in the Match of the Day studio, I don't know, dishing out the biscuits or something.
He doesn't even get on their gig, does he? He does BT.
No. And to round it up, with another fantastic Michael Owen quote, an unstoppable shot that should have been saved.
Oh, dear.
Bless him. So maybe that's why he didn't make the list. He doesn't quite have the brains. So on that point, Jermaine Defoe, goal scorer. Yeah, totally agree. You could put Peter Crouch in there, he scored over 100 goals in the Premier League. Yep. I'll tell you what. Let's have a look on our good friend Wikipedia and see who's finished the top goal scorer in the Premier League every season. Just so we've got a little bit of context into what we're talking about, because as you say, it's Robbie Keane, good shout. List of footballers with 100 or more Premier League goals. And I'm telling you,
Emile Heskey's got more than 100 goals.
Yeah, and once again, to put this into context, because once again, we're sitting here saying about, but he's got more goals than him, he's got more goals than him, he's got more goals, that's why he's a better goal scorer. That's not really the case, is it? It's longevity. No.
Yeah, so, it's well, sometimes it's longevity, but it's scoring those goals in the games, in the amount of games you do. If you score 100 goals but you play 700 games, you're not a great goal scorer.
No, I was going to say, because funny, Ryan Giggs, 623rd on the list. Yeah. He scored over 100 goals. He scored 109 gols, but he scored those in 632 games. So, once again, but so could you class him as a goal scorer? No, you can't really. Having said that, okay. Do you want me to run through the list? Because there's only 28 players that have scored 100 or more Premier League goals.
Yep.
I'll start from the bottom upwards, and it's a personal favourite sitting at 28th, and that's Matt Le Tissier.
Matt Le Tissier scored bang on 100.
Yeah, bang on 100 in 270 games. So that
48 of them were penalties.
There you go. Man knows his stats. His stats. That's a ratio of 0.37 per game.
Played 278 goals. 278 games, something like that.
270.
So close.
Yeah, Didier Drogba, 27th, 104 goals in 254 games.
Yeah.
That's nearly a goal every other game. Darren Bent, 26th, with 106 goals in 276 games. Paul Scholes, remarkably, 107 goals in 499 games.
Yeah.
That's once again, that's a bit better when we sort of look at it in context of the Ryan Giggs thing. But once again, you can't really class that as a goal scorer 1 in every 5. So
no, exactly. As an attacking midfielder, as he was for a big chunk of his time.
Yeah, his early time. When you look, he was sort of nearly getting into double figures in some seasons, and then he tailed off quite significantly as he got older. Yeah. Peter Crouch, 24th, 108 games. 108 goals in 468 games. Yeah. Obviously was plighted at his time at Liverpool. Ryan Giggs, 23rd, 109, 632. Emile Heskey sits 22nd, 110 goals in 516 games. Dion Dublin, 21st, with 111 goals in 312 games. Once again, that's kind of more the discussion that we were having. So. Sorry, just picking up Coop. Unpopular one here. If we are going goal scorer in the Prem, for the season or two he played at a struggling side, Leroy Lita. You could say
Which struggling side did he play for?
We could say the same about Lafondra, I think.
I was going to say, because Lita didn't score many goals in the Prem for Reading.
No.
Our goals were Dave Kitson and Kevin Doyle.
Yeah.
And then Lafondra, as you say.
Funny enough, Romelu Lukaku sits joint with Ian Wright. On 113 goals, and he played 39 more games.
What, than Ian Wright?
Lukaku, yeah. So,
that doesn't surprise me.
how is he in the list ahead of Ian Wright? If you're going to base it on stats, but
Lukaku's not in the list.
That's what I mean. He's not on the list.
Oh, but
Ian Wright is. So once again, it's this is where it comes down to stats, isn't it? It's not about it's opinions at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's opinion.
Okay, I'm just going to move up the list. I'm not going to read out the stats because I think we could sit here and chat the shit for a long time. Gerrard, Dwight York, Nicholas Anelka, Robbie Keane, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Harry Kane, Robin Van Persie, Teddy Sheringham in 11th. Then we go into the top 10, which Les Ferdinand, Michael Owen, Jermaine Defoe, Robbie Fowler, Thierry Henry, Frank Lampard, Sergio Aguero, Andy Cole, Wayne Rooney and Alan Shearer. So Andy Cole sitting in third. He has played for 6 different Premier League teams and scored for those teams. He also did have a time at Sunderland, but he didn't score. How does he not make the list based on that?
the list I've got.
In your opinion.
So the list I've got is the original one picked by the Match of the Day team.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I know this is what's picked. I'm just saying, in your opinion.
Ian Wright took himself out of that list to put Andy Cole in.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, to be fair.
Yeah. But Ian Wright was in the original, so I thought, we'll have Ian Wright in.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think it's a debate at the end of the day. I mean, I'm not going to agree with this list whatsoever. You can only make the argument of how does this player not get in there? In your opinion, would this player go in there? I mean, and for me,
definitely.
I'm not saying take Ian Wright out. I think his goal scoring was phenomenal, and I think what he done in front of goal was outstanding in such a short period of time.
And I think he was a better player, and it was longevity as well. I mean, he was going for a lot of years. He didn't come into the game until quite late, but he was playing pre-Premier League.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. In all fairness, excuse me. Harry Kane's goal ratio is the best on that list by the looks of it, of those players we've just talked about. Sitting at quite a healthy. He's
not. He should be third. He's second.
He's
second.
According to this, he's joint. Yeah, sorry, he's joint with Thierry Henry on 0.68 goals per game. Aguero 0.69.
Oh, so when was that updated? Because the one I've got is 0.7 for Aguero, 6.9 for Kane.
This is as of the 9th of March this year.
Okay.
So,
okay, cool. They're very similar. Very similar to the rates I've got anyway.
Yeah, and that's hair between them. So, Alan Shearer just under that at basically 0.6. So they're kind of your top four almost. Right, looking down this list then, I think it's really hard to kind of pick, how to kind of start this off. I mean, I don't know if you've kind of got a number one in mind, and I want to kind of have an assembled top 10 between us.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd much rather kind of agree on things instead of sitting there going, well, this is my top 10 and that's your top 10, and like it or lump it.
Well, what I've done is I was going to work through from 10th down to 5th.
Yep.
Okay. Now, part of my thinking is down to how long they played, how many games they played, what they done during that period of time, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a few that are a little bit controversial, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
That's what this show's about.
But equally, don't care.
Don't give a shit.
Couldn't care less.
Yes,
so,
that's what we like.
Number 10.
Let's go Robbie Savage on this shit. Number 10.
Damn straight. Didier Drogba.
Okay.
I think he's got the worst.
Let's run through the 5, then we'll go back over this. So list out this bottom 5, and then we'll go over and debate why they're this bottom 5.
Okay, cool. Do you want me to do my 5 and then you do yours, and then we'll debate where we're at? Yeah?
To be honest, I've not even tried to make up a list. I'd rather go with you and then come to an assembled agreement on this.
That's fine. So I've got 10th Didier Drogba, 9th Cristiano Ronaldo. Now
we'll come back to it.
I'm going to throw in there straight away.
Yep.
Ronaldo is arguably one of the best goal scorers in the world now, but he wasn't in the Prem.
I need a good gulp of beer here. Go on.
That's it. 8th, Luis Suarez. 7th, Ian Wright. And 6th, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
So, okay. So yeah, tell me your reasoning for those. I mean, I'll be honest. I probably wouldn't have picked them. I wouldn't have had that order at the bottom. I don't think. I would have probably had Ian Wright a bit lower. That's purely because, as you say, I don't think he had much time in the Premier League. Undoubtedly a fantastic goal scorer, but is he better in front of goal than Cristiano Ronaldo? Is he better in front of goal than Luis Suarez? Ruud van Nistelrooy? I don't know. Yeah, well, sorry, you've got Ruud van Nistelrooy above him. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. So, I mean, you said Drogba down in 10th. Your reasoning behind him sort of being the bottom of this list?
Goals to game ratio. He scored massive goals when it was needed. He scored an FA Cup final, Champions League final, Europa.
Is that surely not what makes a great goal scorer, though? Is scoring the important goals, not the amount of goals?
But then, if we start looking at it again, someone scoring important goals, then we're back on Steven Gerrard or Frank Lampard being in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Drogba, I think, was arguably, especially at his time of playing, was arguably the best number 9 in the world. He bullied big centre backs. Yeah, he was strong. He was physical. He was quick. He could finish. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't a regular thing. He'd have peaks and troughs. Mm-hmm. In cup finals and things like that, he'd get goals.
Yep.
But it's not consistent throughout the season, and I think his goals to game ratio is like 0.4, something like that. So he's the worst. He's got the worst ratio on the list.
Okay.
But yeah, fantastic player.
I mean, does it
all on his own?
I was going to say,
on his own most of the time.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Without any support.
Yeah.
He had like sort of Salomon Kalou and Matthias Kesman who'd sort of back him up from time to time. Yeah. I mean, does it not go within merit that Didier Drogba finished top goal scorer in the 06-07 season, finishing 2 goals ahead of Benny McCarthy. He then also was top goal scorer again in 09 and 10. So I mean that sort of shows a little bit of longevity, would you say? Or
it does.
Just to once again make the counter argument
in between.
Yeah.
And it obviously wasn't a year for brilliant goal scorers if Benny McCarthy was second.
Hey, there's always one that jumps out of the woodwork. To be fair,
there is. Yeah, Benny McCarthy was a good player for a little while.
Yeah. I was going to say he'd done a good job at Porto. Go on, sorry, but in 9th, Cristiano Ronaldo, like you said.
If it was being done now, and it was done on their career, number 1.
Yeah.
But it's not. I think he had 4 or 5 years at Man United where he was a regular in the team, and it was only the last 2 that he became a regular goal scorer. And part of that was positioning and things like that, because he was playing, Man U were playing 4-4-2 to start with, and he was playing as a winger or a wide midfielder. Yeah.
It was a sort of change of formation, wasn't it, that kind of really let him, flourish.
They went to 3 up front, and he played as one of the wide forwards, and that's when he started banging in goals. Yeah. So, but equally, if he played in that position when he first signed for Man United, I still don't think he would have been as effective.
No.
Because he wasn't the same player. He bulked up, he got stronger.
Yeah. He changed his game.
He started to work out when to do it and when not to do it. So Ronaldo 9th, 8th, Luis Suarez.
I personally don't agree with that. I was going to say, I think he's incredible. I mean, I think what he done at Liverpool was, equal to what Mohamed Salah done, in the last season or 2. Yeah. I think Suarez, I feel kind of sorry for him, really. They didn't win the league that year, more than I did for Gerrard, because he was phenomenal. He was just one of those unplayable players.
And he had, and it was a season, and I think there's not a common misconception, but I think there's a feeling that, because of him, others looked better. But do you know what? I think that 4 going forward that year, Sterling, Sturridge, him, and Gerrard, I think all of them complemented each other, and they all helped towards that. I think my issue, Suarez played 3 seasons, 3.5 seasons.
3.5. Yeah, he was signed in January, wasn't he?
And again, it's no slight on him. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at all the players. We've already looked at all the players we left out, that aren't in the top 10.
Yeah.
And he went to Barcelona and arguably made Barcelona a better team.
Yeah. Not many players can do that.
No, but he done it over 3 seasons.
Yeah. Fair enough. No more questions, Your Honour.
Cool.
So Ian Wright going in above Luis Suarez in 7th. I think it's fair to say, if you describe those 2 players, there's quite a big difference between them, isn't there? Is it fair to say that Ian Wright was more of a goal scorer than Luis Suarez?
Ian Wright was more of the type of player old school forward. Yeah.
Whereas Suarez was kind of a bit of everything, wasn't he? He was kind of all across the front line. But once again, Ronaldo's, the reason he sat down in 9th in this debate is because he's not a forward. effectively. He's a fantastic goal scorer for a wide player. He's not.
And in the time in England, he wasn't a fantastic goal scorer. He had 2 good seasons at the end, but until that point, he wasn't you wouldn't have looked at him as an out-and-out goal scorer.
Yeah.
Ian Wright, I think it was a period of time he'd done it over as well. I mean, he only came into the game in like 88, 89 as a professional.
Yeah.
And I think he was already 22 by then.
He came in late, didn't he?
Yeah, he made his big move to Arsenal in 92, I think.
He
91, 92.
He joined in 91.
91, okay,
so pre-Premier League, yeah.
Yeah. But then played at Arsenal until what, 98?
98, yeah.
Yeah. So he'd done 5 years in the Prem at Arsenal. He then done a little stint he had a stint at West Ham. He had a stint at Celtic. I'm obviously not Premier League, but he'd done the bit. So he'd done sort of 7 years, 8 years, 9 years in the Prem.
Yeah.
And I think it was a guy. It was much like watching Dwight York play.
Yeah.
There's always a little bit of a smile on his face, and
yeah,
I think there's a difference between people who are out and out goal scorers and people who score goals.
Yeah.
If you're an out-and-out goal scorer, it's like a drug. You know, the one thing you're looking to do is get a goal.
That's all you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the buzz that you get from that will keep you going. I remember hearing him say something around, he used to get asked all the time, is scoring a goal in front of the Highbury fans better than sex? And he said, and his response at the time was, if I had the choice of never scoring again or never having sex again, he said, you might as well take it away now, Your Honour.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the sort of drug it was.
Yeah, that kind of, dependence as a footballer on scoring goals.
Yeah, and I think Ian Wright was very much like Jamie Vardy is now.
Yeah.
You know, he'd run and run and run, and he'd hassle and he'd harry, and he'd score all types of goals. You know, he scored some great pings. He scored some really intricate little finishes where he'd beat a couple of people and roll it in. And he'd score some proper poacher goals. Yeah. And he was an out-and-out scorer because he didn't care how it went in, so long as it went in.
Yeah. No, exactly. That was it. His goal, his ultimate goal was to score goals, and that was all that mattered to him. So, and I think that's kind of what maybe is lacking from modern day strikers, isn't there? I mean, there's only one person on this list, I think, that is currently that type of player, which we'll move on to.
I think also, bear in mind, had it not been for the phenomenal ability of Thierry Henry, Ian Wright would still be Arsenal's top scorer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I say in those 200 odd games that he played, 221 games, 128 goals, which is, as you say, phenomenal. To do that in the Premier League, which is
when you could get kicked in the air, left, right, and centre as well.
Yeah, like he did. Like he did. I mean, he was a different. Don't know. I think he changed a lot of how strikers sort of evolved. I think in the Premier League, he done that.
Yeah, I think he was a starting process of it, and I mean, obviously, he openly says it helped his game when Dennis Bergkamp came in. Yeah, because he was used to being big man, little man, some big guy next to him flicking the ball for him to chase onto.
Yeah. So
all of a sudden, it's a guy who's actually passing it into his run.
Yeah, as you say, I think Bergkamp, in the long run, he was. He made strikers, I think, at Arsenal almost. You have to look at Thierry Henry and Carnu and Will Tord, all these strikers that came in that really took the headlines, and I think it was a lot down to, the way that Dennis Bergkamp went about his business and the way that he played football. He really rubbed off on those players. So Ian Wright 7th, Ruud van Nistelrooy, a very similar type of player, obviously played many years later in the Premier League in a bit more of a successful side at that time than the Arsenal side. So is that kind of the reason why he makes it slightly just above Ian Wright, or is it more stats based for you? I think he was one of those strikers that he just at that time. I mean, because it was him and Thierry Henry, wasn't it, at the time?
It was, yeah.
And he was one of those strikers I'd imagine if you was a centre back at that time, you feared playing against him. Yeah. You would be going into a game thinking, how am I going to stop him? How am I going to stop him scoring goals today?
He had a little bit about him, a bit of everything about him. When you bear in mind he went to Man United and it was a delayed transfer because of the horrific injury he had.
I was going to say, that's another factor.
And he hit the ground running. So, that was it. There was no, he's gone from an average Dutch team.
Yep.
No, he wasn't at PSV, was he?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
PSV. But he hadn't been at PSV for long. He was at Groningen, I think, before that. And he was an attack. Go on, sorry.
Sorry, it's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember. He was at an average middle of the road Dutch team, and he was more of an attacking midfielder than he was a forward.
Yeah.
And he was scoring goals at PSV, and then had that horrific injury, and then went to Man United. And there was no bedding in period. You know, you come from Holland, and we've seen so many players come over from Holland and struggle. Yeah.
Yeah, due to the nature of the game. Sorry, just go back. Van Nistelrooy, he was at Den Bosch. We had a very average career. Then spent one season at Heerenveen, where he scored 13 goals in 31 games. He then scored 62 and 67 for PSV before going to Manchester United, scoring 95 and 150 games. Yeah,
and I think the biggest drawback from Van Nistelrooy is he never hit the 100.
Yeah, I think that was a shame. Yeah,
it is a shame.
Before he fell out at Man United. Yeah.
Yeah, but during that time he was deadly. I mean, that was in 3 seasons, wasn't it? He scored 95 goals.
He longer than that. He was at Manchester United from 2001 to 2006. So
oh wow. Okay.
How many seasons is that? 5 full seasons.
He must have had an injury or something like that, because 50 games, that's only 30 a season.
Yeah, it's just not many, is it?
That's a whole season out, essentially, isn't it? So
I think when he had the type of injury he had, though, you could never.
You don't want to overdo it.
I don't think you could play at 100%. I think he sat out a lot of the cup games and stuff, didn't he?
Yeah, but that's only Premier League that you're looking at, 150. So
yeah. So I think
okay.
So he still went on to score 46 goals in 68 games at Madrid over the course of 4 years. So he didn't sort of lose his powers, but I mean, I think it was quite famous. He had quite a bit of a spat with Cristiano Ronaldo, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
And that was what kind of sealed the nail in the coffin for him.
Didn't he go out on loan to Hamburg and somewhere else?
He then signed for Hamburg after Real Madrid. Okay. Yeah, and then ended up back at Malaga for a season.
That was when Malaga just bought everyone for a year.
Yeah, basically. No, that's not when they had. I'm trying to think who was there at the time. Didn't they have a couple of?
Etu.
Did they?
Sign Etu? No, it wasn't Etu.
Can't remember. I think they had a couple of youngsters as well there, though, didn't they?
They did have some very good players for a little while. Yeah.
But yeah, he obviously sits 6th on the list, as you say. 95 goals in 150 games. That's a pretty decent return. It's quite healthy. It's not exactly the astronomical figures we're seeing from some of the current Premier League players, currently goal scorers. But as you say, I think he was a sort of feared striker. I think he was just a natural goal scorer, a bit like we're talking about Ian Wright. So I think that's why he deservedly makes this list ahead of a couple of those players which we mentioned. So
he was an out-and-out goal scorer.
Yeah,
okay. Didn't get huge amounts more from him than goals.
No, that was it. I think he only scored like 1 or 2 goals, was it, from outside the area for Manchester United? Yeah. Although if you get a chance, YouTube his goal against Fulham.
Is that where he runs half the length of the pitch?
Just runs past everyone. Yeah, just like they're not even there. And I think that was, that kind of that was overlooked at his time at Manchester United. That goal was phenomenal. If that was. If that was scored by any other striker nowadays. Yeah, well, I mean, it was Lionel Messi-esque, wasn't it? So, okay, right. So, could you tell us who's 5th and 4th, and then we'll go on to our top 3.
Cool. Okay, so 5th, I have Harry Kane. And 4th, I have Wazza.
Okay. So 2 English players there, sitting in 5th and 4th.
Yep.
Okay, Harry Kane in 5th. Do you not think it's a bit premature having him on this list, or do you think he seriously outranks a lot of the goal scorers that we've talked about already?
His goals to game, the amount of goals he's already scored. I think.
You could say he's still relatively young, still got things to add to his game.
Exactly, he's 5th at the moment. There's no reason why he couldn't move up. But at the moment, I think the other guys are. To an extent, the other guys are done, and there's not going to be huge amounts or any kind of progression from them. Yeah. So he could improve. I mean, he could also suddenly plummet, and he could suddenly have a career that it looked like he might have when he was on loan at Norwich, when he was on loan at Leicester. Yeah. I still love the image of the Leicester bench in the. Was it the playoff final or semi-final? And it was him sat next to Jamie Vardy, sat next to someone else. I can't remember who the other player was. But it's like, how is that? the Leicester bench. Playoff final in the Championship. These guys couldn't get a game, and now they're the top scorers in the Premier League.
That was when Ochoa was just absolutely smashing it, though, wasn't he? Was that season?
No.
Did Ochoa have a storm of a season?
Yeah, the season they got promoted. He was there the season they got promoted. It wasn't the season. Oh, okay. It wasn't when they came up. I think it was the year before they came up.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think Ochoa was still at Brighton at that point, but I can't remember who was playing, but it wasn't Jamie Vardy or Harry Kane.
Bloody hell.
So,
incredible. Yeah, hard to believe.
So Kane there, I think he could improve his goals to game ratio, when it was a guy who was merely filling in the team because they had injuries.
Yep.
When you then look at the stats that say, he never scores in August, he's missing half a month for the season, just over half of a month for the season, where he's guaranteed to not get a goal.
Yeah, I was going to say, how impressive would it be if he was scoring in August, that goals per game ratio. So
I think last season was the first time he scored in August, wasn't it? Or this season,
something like that, wasn't it? Something silly like that. I mean, it's fair to say he's kind of got a bit of everything about his game as well, hasn't he? He's strong. He's good. He seems to be good with both feet. I still to this day can't work out if he's left or right-footed. He scores headed goals. As he showed at the World Cup, he can play the kind of hold-up striker as well. He's also captain England, which I think is no mean feat. I think that's a very, very tough job in football, full stop.
I mean, when you look at the things you need to be an all-round striker, you need to be quick, you need to be strong, you need to be good in the air, you need to be good with both feet, and you've got to have that mental toughness that when you miss a chance, you don't dwell on it because there will be another one. And you're focused. And I think, he doesn't have the same mental toughness as Alan Shearer. He doesn't have the same speed as Thierry Henry. He doesn't have the same two-footedness for finishing quite as Aguero. He doesn't have the same strength as Drogba. But actually, when you look through that list, he would probably come third or fourth in most categories.
Yeah, overall on stats wise, I think he's kind of one of the all round strikers really in there. As you say, I think he's got more to his game all round than a lot of those players. I don't know. He's a bit like I don't know. He's similar to Didier Drogba, I think, in that sense. He can do a bit of everything. I think Drogba was a bit more of a bully than he is, but I saw Drogba as being one of those. He could do a bit of everything. He could take free kicks. He could hit the ball, left foot, right foot, score headers. I see Harry Kane being the same, but I don't know. He wouldn't be in my top 5.
But the difference is he's got a goals to game ratio to back it up as well.
Yeah, no, true. Which, as you say, based upon this top 10 and the kind of the criteria we're setting ourselves out, it's hard to he merits that place based on those the stats and also his ability. Wayne Rooney then misses out on the top 3. Second on the list, top goal scorers, isn't he? Second. Also, England's top goal scorer.
England's top scorer.
Manchester United's top goal scorer.
Yeah.
Once again, scored all types of goals.
Second on the list for Premier League goal scorers, is he? I think that was Andy Cole was second.
Andy Cole was second?
I think so.
Sorry, I'll need to bring it back. I will do though. Okay, he misses out on the top 3 despite being the top goal scorer in for his club and country. Once again, scoring all types of goals. He went through a period of scoring headers. He scored free kicks. He scored goals from outside the box. He scored goals from inside the box. Left foot, right foot, you name it, he done it. How come he doesn't make the top 3 in your opinion? Once again, sort of goals per game ratio, or
goals per game ratio is exactly the same as Cristiano Ronaldo's was at Man United. 0.42. Okay. He's played a lot of games. The problem with Rooney is he sacrificed himself. If we were looking at this as overall players, to be fair, actually on this list he'd probably come fourth again.
Probably. Sorry, just to cut back. He is second.
Is he?
Sorry. List of footballers with 100 or more Premier League goals. Which will obviously be the top goal scorers. He's second with 208 goals in 494 games. Which is about that's 53 games more than Alan Shearer played, and he is 52 goals behind.
Which it doesn't surprise me. It's he wasn't what we would deem a great goal scorer. He was a great forward.
Yeah.
A
modern day forward as well, just to kind of just put that in there, how the football has evolved. I think Wayne Rooney was, as you say, he could play in the pocket, he could play midfield, he could play out wide, he could kind of do a bit of everything, which is what's kind of expected of a centre forward nowadays.
It is, and I think when he was at his peak, the problem was his best position wasn't necessarily always as a centre forward.
No.
And I think you watch it when he was playing for England, when he captained England as well, a few times. You watch, he was the desire to get a result for the country.
Yeah,
we're playing one forward, and he's that one forward, and he'd track and he'd chase people back, and he'd win the ball, and he'd play the puck, and there's no outball.
Yeah, because he's so trying to do it all. Yeah,
and that's great if you're trying to help your team, but it's not what you want from your centre forward.
Exactly. Yeah.
You do that chase and that harry, but you know when to stop, and because he would track and people would know, they then wouldn't go to the player.
Yeah.
They would drop up and pick positionally, and then you have an issue again. So Rooney, fantastic player, fantastic forward.
Yeah.
Not one of the greatest goal scorers, but he's got to be up in there, at least in the top 5, because as you say, second top scorer in the Prem, top scorer for Man United, top scorer for his country. It helps if you play a lot more games. Of course it does.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's just not. He's not an out-and-out goal scorer.
No. Okay. I think that's a fair comment. And I'd go with that. I mean, I wouldn't see him as a. Yeah, I don't look at him in the same light as we talk about Ian Wright and Ruud van Nistelrooy and Harry Kane. I just don't see him as that type of player, and I think you're totally correct. He played a very different role and had a very different attitude about the way he wanted to play football. Is it not worth making an honourable note, though, that he suffered more media attention and a lot more hassling than any other player on this list, and that he was, I think, as a striker, I know you probably played as a striker, probably about the same amount as me, actually, looking back on it and after our talk. And it's a massive, massive confidence game, being a striker.
Yeah.
Do you not think that sort of thing has had an impact on his career and his ability to score goals?
I don't think it's had an impact on his ability to score goals. I think it's had a massive impact on his career. And it's decisions as well. The decisions people make. Was it 2010, 2011? He had the opportunity to go abroad. Yeah. And it was at that sort of time. Well, no, maybe a bit later.
And not just on his holidays.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it may have been 2012, 2013. He had the opportunity to go abroad and play. I can't remember who it was for. And there was sort of rumourings. It may have been in Italy somewhere.
It might have been Milan, wasn't it? Yeah, AC Milan.
It could have been Milan. And he said, and he didn't want to go.
Yeah.
Now, you think if he'd gone to Milan at that point in time, he would have left at arguably the peak of his powers at Man United.
Yeah.
He would have been late 20s. He would have had a much better goal scoring record.
Arguably,
and he would never have been Man United's top scorer. He wouldn't. He may have still been England's top scorer. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't be as high as he is on the list of Premier League goal scorers.
No.
But he would have a much better goals to game ratio, and he would be remembered as a better goal scorer.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah, I think and he wouldn't have been painted in such a negative way as I think he is now. No. Amongst footballing papers and supporters as well. I feel like Wayne Rooney gets a hell of a bashing, left, right, and centre. But you can't change people's opinion.
No, he didn't help himself, and he also he was unfortunate that he was 16-year-old coming through in 2001, 2002, something like that, coming through at that point in time, just on the dawn of new age technology.
Yeah, this whole social media shite.
Exactly. And camera phones coming out a couple of years later and things like that. And it's all that sort of thing that suddenly would have had more of an impact because you become socially more aware.
Yeah.
And, it would have had a detrimental effect on his career to an extent. Or not on his career, on him as a person potentially. But it's never looked like it when he's played football.
Yeah, no, as I say, there's only ever been the few sort of outbreaks and outcries, sort of, afterwards that have really, I don't know. You can think of times when he was, I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, where he sort of shouted at the fans in the after game, and it's nice when your home fans are booing you and things like that. That's the only time it ever sort of seemed to boil over. But yeah, okay then. So he sits in fourth. So top three, working our way up to our number one.
So third is the player I think is, take out Ronaldo, but from Premier League years is the best player I've seen, one of the best players I've seen in the Prem, Thierry Henry.
Okay, how come he is in third? How does he not make it higher than that?
Because I think the other two are better goal scorers.
Okay, that's fine. I can only ask that question. Do you see him as being more of a rounded player than a goal scorer?
I see Thierry Henry as a winger who adapted to a role that was required.
A bit like how Cristiano Ronaldo, moved into a striker at later years. Yeah,
I think Thierry Henry, absolutely unbelievable player. Elegant to watch. Yeah, beautiful to watch as a player. He was another one who, when he went to Arsenal, he wasn't really a striker.
No, he was he was a winger, wasn't he?
He'd been binned out of Juve after maybe 6 months because he just didn't do what they wanted.
Oh, he was signed from Monaco as a bit of a prodigy, and he turned up at Juventus, and I don't think he brought into the whole culture. And as you say, I think they just expected him to arrive and perform miracles, and that was never going to happen. So, yeah.
And he wasn't great at Arsenal to start with.
No,
I think they played as a wide man to start with, and it didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
But he was another one who benefited massively, much like Ian Wright did, from Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah.
And then and then Arsenal had started to surround with other players that made them functional again, made them strong, with Pires and Lundberg and those guys. And all of a sudden, he blossomed. And goal scoring record is fantastic. Even though I'm saying I don't think he was an out and out goal scorer, he scored a lot of goals.
A lot, yeah, a hell of a lot. Important goals as well, and different types of goals.
And I think a lot of it, though, from that goes back to what you were saying a minute ago. It's a big confidence thing. If you keep scoring goals, especially in that Arsenal team, then he knew he was going to get chances.
Always,
consistently going to get chances. Whether it was created himself. But he knew the players around him would give him the ball.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Yeah, he had confidence in the players around him, and the team had confidence in him to put the ball in the back of the net. And it was that perfect marriage of team and player. I think a lot of people said that it was a one-team player, and really, I don't think that was the case. I think it was a case of the Arsenal team complemented Thierry Henry's style of football, and that's why they got the very best out of Thierry Henry at that time. So
most definitely.
Who's the runner-up?
Is Aguero.
Okay. Once again, based on stats, or is this based upon his play? Is it more a case of your opinion? You just think he's a better goal scorer than the other 8 on this list? I mean, how has he found his way into the runner-up place?
I think he's a better goal scorer. I think I picture Aguero playing every season he's played in the Premier League without having a niggle or an injury, which he's pretty much had every season he's played in the Premier League.
Yeah, every season he's had a little, an ankle knock or a knee knock or a hip or something.
He's missed. And I think I saw somewhere that he's only played more than 30 games twice.
Oh, really? Wow.
In 8 or 9 seasons.
Yeah.
And then you look at the amount of goals he scored and his goals to game ratio. And you kind of look at it and you think, well, actually, again, like we just said about Henry, when you've got De Bruyne, Silva, all of those guys, Sterling, teeing you up on a regular basis, you're going to score a lot of goals.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that not more of an argument that Thierry Henry was a better player than Aguero? I mean, I don't think Henry played with players as good as what Aguero's playing with.
Yeah, but it's all relative, isn't it? It's all relative because they were the Invincibles. He played in the Invincibles team.
Yeah.
So, arguably, Man City haven't gone a season without losing a game. So, players in the Premier League now are probably better than players that played when Arsenal didn't get beat, because football's evolved over 20 years. But
but then that kind of quashes your shout about having players like Ian Wright, and I mean who obviously is going to finish our number one. I mean,
Ian Wright.
No, sorry, Alan Shearer, who's going to finish number one, because he's the only name left on here, unless I've got it catastrophically wrong.
No, you haven't got it catastrophically wrong. No,
but if you're saying that football's evolved and that now the current striker is much better than the players of days gone by, then surely this makes this argument null and void, and that actually, based on this, Wesley at Aston Villa's, one of the top 20 strikers ever playing in the Premier League.
Not a chance, mate.
That's what I mean. But I mean that's what this is how it's all relative, isn't it? And throwing the kind of the rules back out there is that it is. And I mean that's the one point I would make
when we get to share in a minute.
That's what I mean. But because we're going to say. I mean, I know what we're going to talk about with Alan Shearer, but for me, I agree. Sergio Aguero's been a great goal scorer. And once again, scored important goals. He's got goals per game. But I think he's played he's been incredibly lucky to play for a side that has year on year replaced the players around him to get the best from him. I mean, you look at all the players around him, and they've always chipped in with goals.
They have.
It'd be fascinating to look back and see who's assisted him for most of his goals. I think that could make quite an interesting.
It would.
I don't know. But
on this list, Henry had by far and away the most assists in the Premier League.
Yeah, but the counter argument is it's not about assists, is it? It's goal scorers.
It's goals,
we're not talking about the best player in the Premier League, we're talking about the best goal scorer. So if we're talking about the best player, then Thierry Henry will probably sit top of there, because once again, he sat there with all these assists as well as goals, as well as some of the passes he used to make, some of the runs he used to make, and being part of a team at that time where I think the players around him weren't as good as what he was. So, but you say we're just talking about goal scoring, then I can sort of validate the Sergio Aguero thing. But
I think the difference with Aguero, or the thing with Aguero as well, is
consistency as well. Goals every year, he's always hitting those figures, isn't he?
Yeah, Henry went to Arsenal not as an out-and-out forward. He wasn't great to start with. He then bought into how things were being played. He was adapted slightly in his game, and he flourished. Aguero went to Man City to be the main man, was the main man. Pep came in. Aguero wasn't the main man. Aguero was on his way out because he didn't work hard enough. And then all of a sudden is the main man again because he's adapted his game. It's so much harder to adapt your game when you're playing with players and you're used to knowing what you do.
But he has. I don't think he's adapted his game, has he?
He can't. You watch him now. He doesn't stand on the last man. He comes deeper, picks up the ball, looks to feed others.
I don't think he's ever done that though. I think he's always kind of done a bit of everything. To an extent, he's one of them strikers. It'll come in, get the ball, lay it off, and then he makes his run. I've always seen him as that type of striker. I've never seen him as a, sits on the last man. Personally.
If old school, he used to sit on the last man, and then as the ball came forward, he'd take 2 steps in and then spin out. I think it's a lot different now, where he drops sometimes 10, 20, 30 yards behind the line, and I think part of that is because they're playing with Sterling or whoever's on either side come a lot narrower. So as soon as he drops in, they fill that space, and he almost sometimes becomes like a Frank Lampard, where that ball then goes around and he then makes a run towards the box last. And you see him score a few goals where actually he's not the furthest player forward. He's come in and he's struck a ball on the penalty spot just inside the area. Things like that. And
it's that sort of timing of the run, isn't it?
It is. And I think, and even if it's not an overhaul of his game, it's still quite an adaptation for a guy who at the time was probably 28. He's coming up to 32 now.
He's getting on.
Still doing it, scoring the goals all the time.
Say consistently,
but at 28, to overhaul your game after 18 years of playing professional football and being successful, and someone comes in and says you don't offer what I want, I think it's a massive thing to be able to do.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think the good thing about him is, I can see your point. I just suppose from my point of view, I don't personally prescribe to it. I don't think he has changed his game. I think he's always stayed true to what he does, and I admire that. I think Guardiola expected a lot more from Gabriel Jesus, and that's why he still gets a nod in games. But I don't know. I still think that's kind of that's a good thing about Aguero, is he's always just played his game, and as I say, he's, and that's the unwavering confidence of a striker. He knows his abilities and he's always done it. So I mean, and that's why I can see why, and for that reason I'd make him second for that. So Alan Shearer, tops list.
Yeah.
Is there? I mean, do we even need to talk about this? I mean, he's scored the most goals. He's scored it in such a short period of time. He played for a failing side.
Major injuries.
Major injuries, knee ligaments, wasn't it, as well?
Knee ligaments at Blackburn, and then again did he break his leg in 2 places, or knee ligaments again when he was at Newcastle?
It was knee ligaments both time, which are probably the worst injury you can have as a footballer, I think, isn't it? I mean, as you'll testify.
It's not nice.
No, so, I mean, it's, when you go through the injury like I had, it's a case of you just got to wait for the bones to grow back, and then that's it.
Yep.
With ligaments, you can't...
They don't regrow.
Exactly. So... to overcome that and score 260 goals in the hardest league in the world, for, as I say, for a team that at its peak was a top 6 side,
at best,
its best, to do that, does that surely not mean that he's streaks ahead of Aguero?
It means
relatively.
It means that during the Premier League period of time that he is the best goal scorer.
I told you there's not much to say, is there, really?
Yeah, I think Shearer, from a fan's point of view, called time on his England career too early.
Yeah.
63 games, 30 goals, I think it is, something like that.
Yeah.
When you bear in mind the amount of injuries and things like that that Michael Owen had, and he still cleared over 80 games. Shearer, I think Alan Shearer could have broken the goal scoring record if he'd carried on, but by not carrying on, I think that's what helped him break the goal scoring record in the Premier League, and actually be so, because from the point of view as well, he'd smashed a Premier League. He was always in front of it.
Always, yeah.
And actually, that desire to keep scoring was still there. It wasn't like he was chasing anything.
No, like Wayne Rooney was with England. Yeah.
Yeah, Rooney was chasing a target. Shearer wasn't chasing anything. He was just doing his thing.
Yeah. I mean, you talk to like car racers or motorcycle racers. They say the hardest thing is to lead from the front. It's much easier to have something to chase. It's very hard to lead when there's nothing to aim for.
Yep, definitely. And I think, if you're Shearer and you burst onto the scene for Southampton, you then get a big move to Blackburn, arguably a big move at the time.
At the time it was, yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to look back and not look at it like that, but at that time it was a huge move, yeah.
And you watch him play then, he was a quick, strong, he was starting to become the evolution of a striker.
Yeah.
Quick and strong, quite good on the ball, and then scored a load of goals in his first season at Blackburn, and then knee ligaments. And he came back, and he'd adapted his game slightly because he knew that yard of pace had gone. Yeah. And he scored a load of goals, and they won the league, and he scored a load of goals, and they finished 4th or 5th. Yeah. And then the opportunity came to go to Newcastle, or Man United, to be fair. Yeah. Wanted him, and he was on the verge of signing, and then Newcastle came in, and he said, do you know what, it's the only team that I would knock everyone else back for. Yeah, exactly, yeah. And he went to Newcastle and scored a load of goals, and then knee went again. Yep. And he came back, and pretty much there's still a degree of athleticism, but majority of the pace is gone, and he's had to adapt his game again, and he's still scoring goal after goal after goal. Still scoring. I think he scored 30 Premier League goals in a season 3 years in a row. It's just incredible. Yeah. Just incredible. And I mean, we say about how evolution of football and things like that now.
Yeah.
I think it's harder now in terms of the quality of players.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you look at those early Premier League days in the 90s and things like that, and it was uncompromising. I mean, if you ask someone like Alan Shearer who he would rather come up against, someone like David Luiz or Steve Bruce in his heyday,
yeah,
he'd say David Luiz all
all
day
long, bullying senseless, yeah,
because everyone now is a footballer.
Yeah,
you don't have those out and out defenders that strikers would have come up against. Playing as a centre midfielder now may be easier. Everyone's technically great because you haven't got Paul Ince or David Batty trying to break your legs every 5 seconds.
Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah.
So
Lee Catamol. Yeah,
exactly. So that evolution it's there, and you see the progression of football, and you see that the guys nowadays have to be better, and they have to hone their skills, and they have to do those sorts of things.
Yeah.
But to do the basics back in the day was pretty tough as well.
Yeah, very tough. Yeah, as I say, he was of a different era almost. He was at the same era as some of these players. But it was the kind of the longevity, the goal scoring. Once again, the adaptation of his game after the most serious injury I think you can have as a footballer twice. And also some of his goals were just unreal. Unreal. There was the volley that he just absolutely crashed in that I think I've tried can't remember who it was against.
He done one for England where it was ridiculous because it was a David Batty assist. David Batty only passed the ball sideways. And luckily, at this point in time, David Batty found himself halfway up the pitch and passed it sideways. And Shearer ran onto it and absolutely launched it.
I think I'm thinking of... I'm sorry to say, it's a goal against Villa.
No.
I think...
That doesn't surprise me.
Okay. It looks like it's been filmed with a potato. So.
Oh, good.
I do warn you, but let's see if we can get this to work.
Are we going to try and stream it? You're going to try and get it up on here?
Yeah.
Go on, Shearer.
Ah, what a goal.
Is it against Villa?
Yeah. Is it Villa?
Nah, definitely West Ham. Oh, yeah, look at that.
See, just what a hit.
Look at that, NTL before they went bust.
I know. Well,
I hope he's celebrating.
Northern Rock took it.
Oh, is that with him? Is that Shola Amiobi? It is. Look at that.
Is that Craig Bellamy making the run into the box as well?
Could have been little Craig Bellamy and Shola Amiobi.
Oh, it's just the way he hits it.
On the side, it's left foot. Is it left foot?
Right foot.
Oh, it is right, yeah.
Sorry, who's the team they're playing against? Everton. Sorry, it was against Everton.
Yeah, it's Everton, yeah.
But I mean, just what a goal.
What
a goal. Unreal.
But that's a guy in confidence.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
That's a guy with confidence, isn't it? To take that first time and hit it from there.
Yeah, with the technique, he just swings a leg at it, and I think it's one of those ones you probably hit it and you know it's in the back of the net before you've even really got your laces through it. It's just called it sweet as a nut. So
absolutely. Absolutely. But he probably knew the legs had gone by then, so he knew if he took a touch, he wasn't going to hit it.
He just has to hit it. Yeah, that's all you can do. Okay.
But I think that's the big thing. I think Shearer, when you look at that list, I think Shearer's the only player. Take out Ronaldo because obviously we know what he's become.
Yeah.
But I think Shearer's possibly the only player that you could take out of that list and you could drop him into any generation of football, and he would be effective.
Would you think so? Yeah, as you say, I don't think Sergio Aguero would be. I think he's maybe too lightweight and a bit too technical to make it in the 90s. I mean, a player that I know doesn't make the list, and we'll sort of end on this a little bit. Who I think could maybe do a similar thing if he'd had longer in the Premier League and didn't spend as much time out because he was a fucking fruitcake, but that's Eric Cantona. Do you think that? I mean, once again, he was one of those. I think he could kind of do a bit of everything, and he was a striker. Yeah. He undoubtedly had the confidence. It was just unfortunate that, as I say, he was a he was an absolute nutcase, and B, that he wasn't in the Premier League for very long.
No, his goals to game ratio wasn't bad. I think it was kind of on a par with like Rooney's and Ronaldo's.
Yeah, it was average, but once again, he was, he's a bit like Harry Kane is now, kind of done a bit of everything.
I would say though, Cantona, I don't think Cantona really ever saw himself as an out-and-out striker.
No.
He went to Man United and there was Mark Hughes, who was the main centre forward.
Yep.
And Cantona, basically Cantona swanned around the pitch doing what he wanted because he could.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Because he was that good. I don't think he saw himself, even when he played for France and he was at Marseille and people like that. You had Jean-Pierre Papin, who was the main striker.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of spent a period of time being the main man without having to get goals. Yeah. And it suited him.
Yeah.
He enjoyed it.
Yeah, they kind of say that relaxed, no nonsense sort of stuff.
I mean, you say had he not done, when did he leave Man U? 97, 98?
98, I think.
So he'd done he'd been banned for almost a year, but he'd done 5 years in the Prem with Man U. So he'd done more in the Prem with Man U. He'd done as much in the Prem with Man U as Van Nistelrooy, more than Suarez.
Yeah.
As much as Ronaldo did. Or no, well, I suppose consistent playing time, a bit different, yeah. But he's
didn't really
not
have
in
the
the list,
time.
but I agree.
Once again, I think he maybe made the point he's not really a goal scorer. He wasn't looked at as a goal scorer. I think his impact on Manchester United as a whole was, more effective than any goal he ever scored. So
yeah, I mean it's like we said, it's the same sort of shout for Matt Le Tissier.
Correct.
Le Tissier was a scorer of great goals as opposed to a great goal scorer. He's got a half decent goals to game ratio, bearing in mind Southampton were down the bottom of the table most of the time.
Yeah.
And his biggest drawback was the fact that he never left Southampton.
Yeah, once again, if he'd gone on to maybe play for a bigger side, I think that, we'll be talking about him as much higher up as a player than we do now. I think he's always mine and your kind of outside shout for for being a hell of a player. But most people just look at us and go, Matt who? But
yeah, exactly, yeah. But I think a big issue with Le Tissier was the fact that he'd done it for Southampton. Southampton, no matter what happened, built a team around him. Yeah,
they did, yeah. And once again, he didn't really play as a striker, did he? He kind of played a bit deeper and. Sorry,
he wanted to be. We got
a video of
Tissie's best goals.
Yeah. Oh, left foot, right foot. He could do it all, mate. He could do it all. Chips. Oh.
The goal against Newcastle.
Where he just takes it down and takes it past players and.
Yeah, what a volley.
Oh no, on the left peg. Oh, and then the next one, he juggles it around and.
Yeah, he does it against Liverpool, and then he also does it against Newcastle, I think.
I think the Newcastle one is the one that everyone talks about, but I think that one against Liverpool was just insane. Yeah.
And see you later. And then
I know.
And there was a couple against Blackburn as well, where he basically gets it. And you speak to people.
This is one against Newcastle where I was going to say what I love is the finish.
Flick, and then rolls it.
I was going to say just how many strikers would have just absolutely lashed it, but he just calmly just puts it in the back of the net.
But it's the first one there, the touch to drag it from behind himself.
Insane.
And then just rolls it in. But I think the goal he scores against Blackburn is a prime example of a guy who it must have been late in the game because he could not be bothered to run.
But I say, I mean, that second goal against Newcastle in that game, to think he scored those two goals, and that one just
a little touch on the thigh and wallop.
Yeah.
It was also do you remember the free kick he scored where he had it flicked up to him?
Yeah, that will surely come on this list. Surely.
It's got to be.
I mean, that punch of a volley as well. I mean, just the technique on it it's just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just once again, just no wild swipes.
No backlift on that. It's past the keeper.
And it's just the this is the free kicks coming up. His goal against Wimbledon. Sponsored by Dimplex. Bloody hell. Sorry, if anyone's watching thinking what's going on, then the video's slightly delayed, so I get to see the videos before Neil does.
Yeah, what a goal.
Yeah, there's just... Yeah, I could just sit here and watch these all day, every day.
And this became part of the issue from my point of view, because you know, I watched this guy and I thought, what a hero.
Yeah, likewise.
And I thought, well, I can do that. And what I did was I stopped the running and just worked on the little touches and
just get out your feet
volleys
and strike
and the
it
free
sweetly.
kicks. Yeah.
Just that goal against Villa. That's just
ridiculous.
Smashes it in the back of the net.
Yeah.
And the one against Blackburn, we just...
Is that the next one?
Yeah, we just sort of feints to go past a few people, then takes it out of his feet, and then just
bang. Can't run anymore.
Straight in the top corner.
And you know, that's against Tim Flowers, who was like second choice England goalkeeper
at the time. Hell of a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
There's a goal against Wimbledon, a few little keepy uppies, and then larrups it in the back of the net. You don't see these type of goals anymore.
No.
A free kick against QPR. Wow.
But that's because I think at the time, if it didn't work, people would still applaud him.
Yeah.
Whereas now, if someone done that and you've got 3 or 4 of your players in the box, you'd get berated.
Yeah. I was going to say, well, I mean, you just have to look at that Mario Balotelli goal we done in pre-season where he's trying to dick about, and I don't know. That's if he'd done those keepy uppies and then missed, then would he have been given the same shit as what Balotelli was? No, I don't think he would have.
No, exactly. Yeah. And that was the thing, wasn't it? At Southampton, he could get away with it.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, surely they're going to have his best goal in a minute against Taibbi.
You called it. You called it. Eric who? Who's that Eric bloke who wears his collar up?
Oh,
is that who's that?
I've done it before it came on TV.
Is that Never
heard
that
this,
one.
Yeah.
Not
that one.
Of course.
That's
no,
just...
isn't it? Oh, well, we just hit it straight at Taibbi.
Where it goes through his hands.
Taibbi, let him have it.
That's Schmeichel. That's an impressive one.
Oh no, yeah, it's just to say, just the articulation on the chip.
Yeah, but if this was a treasure trove of the best goals scored, how's that work? Not the best goal scorers, but the best scorer of goals.
Yeah, best scorer of goals. Yeah,
he'd be.
I was gonna say he'd be in the top 3. I think just purely because he'd done everything. Yeah.
And it was consistent over his whole career.
What I mean. Yeah.
Those were all of his goals.
I think that could definitely be a debate for another day. The best scorer of goals, because I mean, there's some fantastic names out there. So I think some ones as well, which are a bit debatable. But
I think Papas Cisse for Newcastle.
Yeah, but only done it once, didn't he?
Swipe. Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? You're looking at the people who scored those goals on a regular basis, and Lettis did. Yeah,
I think Ronaldo, Henry. I'd go with Frank Lampard as well. Steven Gerrard. Once again, we could be here for a long time. A long time, I think. So I think it's about time we wrap this up. So we're getting on to 9:15. So cool. Thanks everyone who's watched. It's been a real quiet one in the chat, which is a real shame. I was hoping we'd got a bit more of a debate going on, but can't be helped. It's Monday. I'm sure people are just sick of lockdown and probably just don't want to see my face anymore. So after being everywhere on Twitch for the last couple of weeks, pushing myself. So right, so we'll be back again on Thursday to debate something then. God knows what. Probably a bit more of what's going on in football at the moment, because
with our news update.
Yeah, a bit of a news update. So I think we should maybe involve some Football Index or something moving forward as well. So I don't know how you feel about that.
Do a little bit of promotion for Football Index,
Yeah, as long as they give us some money, bastards.
Yeah, free shares.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So right, so we'll be back again at 7:30 on Thursday.
Cool.
Au revoir, guys. See you later.
Thanks a lot. Bye.